Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you're all doing very, very well. Welcome back to another episode of the Day After Show, where we speak about everything that's happened, whether we win, lose, or draw. And after a very, very dramatic ending in Manchester, we're going through it, guys. We're going through it, and honestly, I think there's a lot of mixed emotions from different people. Some people seem to be, really, really happy. Other people think that we need to have more, better standards, etc. But I think all in all, like, we can agree that there was fight, wasn't there? There was fight, and there was a character about Chelsea that I think ultimately everybody wants to see, right? You want to see your team push until the end. And if you manage to get that goal, whether it's a win or salvaging a point, like, it's still more than you would have had if you lost the game, So whether you draw or whether you win, like, for me, I have to take the positives out of it. But we also have to then look at the deeper, broader conversation of the ownership. And obviously we're going to discuss that as well. So big up to everyone. Smash the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Aggie, this is your first time on here as well, mate. It's good to have you on.
Yeah, good to be here, Alex.
I didn't realize you work late like me, but this show, actually, the timing is great. So it's 10 p.m. That's your go-to.
That's just about finished now from work, but yeah, good to be on, lads.
Hey, I mean, we're going to dive into it, Aggie. We're going to dive into it. And obviously, Kev, I know you were at the game as well yesterday, mate. Like, what's your feelings a day after? Because I think you have this jubilation, but when you have time to sit and really process everything that's happened, you've got a bit more of an idea.
To be honest, yeah, I'm feeling optimistic.
Oh, you are feeling optimistic?
Yesterday, just the way just the way we played yesterday. It felt like the chains were released, and it felt like the players had a bit of freedom, and it seemed like they looked a bit more happier. And maybe is his signs to come, because I don't know about you, like, personally, football, you win, you lose, you draw. But I just want to come out the ground and see that the team that are having a goal and stopping all this playing at the back nonsense. The Lap, when we signed the Lap last year, we signed him on the basis he was going to do what he was going to do yesterday and run the tunnels and get played in the tunnels and play into him instead of just knocking it side to side to side. So maybe the season could turn around because the manager's out. So maybe the Maresca leaving is a good thing. I don't know, but from what I witnessed yesterday, a lot better already, and that's without a manager. So whoever he turns up, if it's Liam Rosenior or it's freaking Roll, I don't know who it's going to be. Just give the players freedom and give us fans some entertainment, because we have to deal with a lot of shit already. So we just want to turn up to games and see the players getting at the opposing team.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you were talking before the stream, Warren, about following Chelsea in the 90s. And obviously not everybody can relate, because not everybody did follow Chelsea in the 90s, but it's about
well, it wasn't your fault if you wasn't born.
Oh, I mean, I was born, so there you go. So I'm not. Yeah, I'm still very young.
Late 90s. I was like we spoke the other day. I spoke to Aggie the other day. I'm Eddie Goy, Zola Viali, Flo. That was my era. I said this the other day. I remember we played Barcelona in the Champions League, and we was meant to get torn apart, and we just got at him, and Flo scored a lob. I remember it like yesterday.
Flo got 2, Zola got 1, yeah. 3-1.
Yeah,
he goes
over the And he
was for Barcelona. Rivaldo tore Petrescu apart.
World-class players. And we just got at him. And they had passion. They had a core. And and these are the principles that Chelsea have always been built on, and it seems like it's been torn out with these new owners. So we just want to see that back. We just want to see like yesterday, Enzo celebration. I like that. He's been getting a lot of stick recently, but he showed that passion when he scored that goal. You can see how much he wanted it, and this is what we want to see on a weekly basis from our players.
Yeah, I totally agree. I just want to extend on that. What I will say is I put a little reaction up on about Maresca. You put it up on your Chelsea fan TV, just sort of saying, I don't necessarily believe it was a managerial issue. It seems to be. We've discussed many times, and we're going to get on to what we think the problem is higher up or whatever. But I kind of called out the Chelsea fans and sort of said, look, the one thing that we do need is for Chelsea fans to get behind the team. And they did yesterday. They did. They were still, like, I could still hear them even on the telly. And it's difficult to do. You can't judge an atmosphere on the telly. I think it's completely unfair to do so, because if they're singing something with swear words in it, they turn the mics down so that they don't have swearing come through the TV, for example, right? So, but I did hear Chelsea fans a lot yesterday. They really did get behind the team. And that's something I've noticed in a lot of people's reactions over the last couple of days, is that they've all said about getting behind the team. And they really got behind the team yesterday. And I think that helped give the team a bit of confidence. Like you said, I think the shackles were released a little bit. I think that they was allowed a little bit more freedom. It would have been, he's going to come in and say, look, I'm not going to come in and try and change anything tactically in the next 25 minutes. Right, because that's what I've got with you. I've got a couple of hours with you, right? You know what to do. You know how City play. You know these things, right? Go out there and do what you need to do. Be organised, be structured, get people behind the ball, make it difficult for City to play the ball in and around you, put blocks in, which they did. They played with character. They forced Man City to have to play well, and we got a bit of luck with obviously Haaland's effort off the post. But then that allowed us in the second half to play with that little bit more. We had a bit more belief, and then they played with that little bit of freedom. And you're right, it was so much better to watch. And again, but that's nothing new. We always play well in one half and not in the second. And we did show good mentality to keep fighting till the end yesterday, but we did under Maresca in certain games as well. So I still think that was I kind of feel like the players put that performance in for Maresca. I think they felt like I think they felt like they owed him something. I do. I think certain players felt like they owed him something. I really do.
I don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with that at all.
No?
I mean, if you look at Palmer's performance and if you look at Delap's performance, that was literally everything except what Maresca would ask. Because Palmer didn't play with that freedom under Maresca. Delap didn't.
No, I don't mean that. I mean
Andre Santos.
The attitude and the application. That's what I mean.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. I mean, look, the manager who brought back attitude and application into this team is Poch. Whether you want to admit it or not. So Maresca already had that when he took over the squad, and his job was to then build a structure and a system and be tactically solid. Right? These are the things that we criticized from Pochettino, or a lot of fans criticized that. But for me, this was just a team that was playing with freedom. That there wasn't a huge. There wasn't a lot of tactics in the sense of you have to play this way, you have to do this. It's just a case of, listen, play for the badge, play for the fans, like put 110% into this, and you might get something out of it. Like there's no doubt we've got quality in the team, but I've been a big don't know what the word is. What's the opposite of not supporter, but I've defended Maresca, but people don't really seem to remember that I hated him. I had a real hatred for Maresca. It was real. The way that Lewis hated Poch, that's how I felt about Maresca. I thought,
but Lewis feels like that about a lot of people when it gets in views. He's just over passionate about.
The guy came from Leicester. He had no CV.
I think he was doing a good job.
Appointment, and he won 2 trophies and got Champions League, and he earned my respect. And ultimately that's why he earned my respect, not because of the inverting players, not because of anything he said. It was the fact that we had success. I thought the football was boring, and I accepted that because we won 2 trophies and we got Champions League, and now we've got rid of him, and we've. Well,
I've said that I found football in that sense for the most part boring for quite a number of years. This season, funnily enough, not with Chelsea, but this season, funnily enough, there's a few teams that have actually like opened up and play a little bit less sort of like pep ball, or like as I would call it.
Yeah.
So there's been a few teams like Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth are a really good side to watch. I actually think Arsenal's style of play isn't like hard on the eye. You know what I mean? They create a lot of chances. I think they get a lot of players forward. They use set pieces well. I've loved the reintroduction of like long throws and corners and scoring goals from all that. That's a proper bit of me.
That football needs to be taken out of football, man. It's so boring to watch.
The trouble is, do you know what? I thought this the other day. The trouble is that the FA believe that playing this continental style of football is going to help England win the World Cup. Whether or not it does or not, we don't know. It still hasn't happened yet. So you could say, no, it's not, because there's no evidence to suggest that it's working. But the FA want this continental brand of football. So the way that the rules are set up now, even with the way that they view challenges, the way they view fouls, the way that yellow cards are given, it's all designed to stop the physical nature of the game and only allow this brand of continental football. So that you say the style of game, playing with passion and playing with energy, which we did, but it has to be so refinedly controlled now, because if you put one step out of place and your foot is that much too high and looks a bit funny from a certain angle, you get sent off. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't punish bad fouls when they go over the top and stuff like that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that genuine mistakes, things that have been mistimed by a millisecond, and people are getting sent off, and it's affecting the outcomes of competitions because the FA want this certain brand of football. So I think we're kind of pissing in the wind, wanting it to be like it was, because it's not going to be. But it doesn't mean to say it can't be entertaining.
I've got a question for you, Aggie, just from this super chat. So Brian says he disagrees with, I can't remember who it is exactly, but he does believe that they showed heart. So Warren, it would have been with you about Maresca. So he doesn't think that they showed heart for Maresca. He thinks they showed heart for the away support. Do you agree with that, Aggie?
Well, I think let's take things from the beginning. I think yesterday, I don't care what people are saying. We helped Arsenal to win the league. We did this, we did that. Yesterday was a game for the fans, for the players to play for the badge, give us something. We had a crap 10 days. The Villa result, the Bournemouth result, the Maresca situation. Everybody, we went to the game yesterday and we're thinking, what we're going to get today? What's going to happen today? We had a rookie interim manager coming in there. He never did it before. And credit to the lad, credit to Callum. Half time he changed it. He put Santos on in midfield, packed the midfield. Any other manager would do that. Everybody would keep praising him today. And then, we are Chelsea. We are a big club. Of course, we're going to go to City and we want to win. We're going to go there and put a fight, and we're going to go there and we have to fight for the. Have you seen how many fans? We had a full sellout yesterday there. No trains.
You think we had a full sellout, Aggie? I don't know.
I think
there was a few empty seats.
Maybe a few seats, like not so bad considering all the issues we had.
Not many.
No trains.
Considering it was a 5:30 kickoff and it was snowing, we
exactly. No trains going back. You have to change. You have to do this. You have to do that. And we went up there. Yeah, we deserve a point. Why not? I mean, put aside everything what's happening. Put aside what we think about the Owners. We don't like the Owners. I don't like the Owners. I don't like what they're doing. But yesterday was a game. We have to turn up. And I think as soon as I saw Reece giving it before the kickoff, I said to my lad, watch Reece today in the middle. He's going to boss it in there. And it was a moment when second half, he just turned to us when he was taking a corner and he was like, come on. This comes from the heart. Of course I'm going to celebrate. I don't give a mind. I don't care about Arsenal. I don't care about anyone. All I care about is Chelsea. Win, get points, score goals, and hopefully they will sort things out behind the scenes because, we've been a laughing stock all week. Now United is getting it, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully things will get sorted and
Wonderful.
see what
Yeah.
see where we're gonna go with that. So yeah, fair
One
play
thing
to
I
the
was really
players, to the
impressed with as
fans.
well was is
Yeah, go on, Kev.
the boys as well. The boys at sorry mate, the boys at the start, Cucurella, Colwell, I think it was Casado, and who else?
Sanchez, they were all on the pitch when they were warming
Yeah,
up.
yeah. And I found that really good. I like that. It's like basically they knew the managers there, so they was going to make their presence felt, and it was going to be in it together. And that's what you need now. Stuff like this can make your team a lot better. Can make you more of a tight unit. Now they're going to fight for each other. I was saying it yesterday. They didn't have to travel down to Manchester. They could have stayed at home and they came down to support the team. And that's what we need to see now. We need to see we need to see our team supporting each other through this difficult period to start picking up performances and get the confidence back. And straight away, like you said, Reece James, best player in the park by a long yard yesterday. He was geeing at the fans. He was such a phenomenal inspiration yesterday. Even when one of their players got injured, he was helping them off the pitch. What a credit to the man, you know. He's showing that through all this shit that there can be light, and hopefully with the new manager comes in, he can help him settle as well. So
I mean, people
bad,
say,
you know,
yeah, go on, Kev.
I was just saying, it's not all. When we got the news of the years, and I thought we'd go and City the next game. I thought it was. I literally turned yesterday thinking we're going to get thumped. So it's not all doom and gloom. Get this new manager in and get the players playing with a bit more freedom, and let's see where we go. And I'm sure all the fans' minds might change about certain situations.
Well,
Scott,
people were saying. Oh, go on,
Alex. I'll let you finish your point, and then we'll go over to Scott.
People were saying we celebrated because we got a point. Of course, we're going to celebrate. We are Chelsea.
Aggie, have you got a wire with your headphones? Have you got a wire?
No,
because I can hear a muffling sound.
It's the mic.
Scratching.
Is it the mic? Oh, is it? Do you have a mic that's rubbing against your shirt or something, or your hoodie?
No.
Because we can hear a little sound.
No.
Anyway, go on. Keep going, Aggie. Keep going.
Well, I'm just saying. People are saying we're celebrating because we took a point. Of course, we're going to celebrate. We're playing against Man City. We're away. We got so many issues. We had injuries. We had Casado missing. We had Cucurella missing. We had all this going on behind the scenes. We had so many issues. We turned up there and we gained a point. Of course, we're going to celebrate. You know, it feels like a win, you know. But like Kev says, togetherness now, we need to be together for the Chelsea. But hopefully the owners, they're going to sort themselves out. And hopefully they're going to bring a manager and they're going to back him. Not like doing what they've been doing all this time. That's my last point about that. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's no good. It's no good. Still, we got the point. But still the problem's there with the owners. The owners, like I said, win or lose, we're always there. But the owners need to sort themselves out. That's still going.
I mean, Scott, good to have you on, mate. As always, I'm intrigued to know what you think about the reaction to the draw. I mean, do you think it was worth celebrating yesterday? Do you think it was embarrassing? Because I'll be honest with you, I work with an Arsenal fan. And he came up to me today and he was like, I don't understand how certain Chelsea fans can basically say, oh, I'm gutted that we drew the game because now Arsenal, they're going to gain more points. And he was saying it's basically like, what happened with Tottenham under Ange. It's like, why aren't we just focusing on our own success? Why are we always looking at other teams and trying to compare ourselves? And I just thought that was a really interesting point, especially because he wasn't even saying it in like a mocking way. He wasn't trying to mock the fan base. He was confused by it. So I mean, what's your take on the reaction?
Honestly, I haven't seen the reaction, but I don't think it's embarrassing to like celebrate a point. It depends on how much you celebrate. Like, it was a good point considering the circumstances, considering the way we played in the first half, the manager. the scenario, the situation, everything going on around the club at the moment. But yeah, like it's one of those where I just think you've got to like commend the players for what they did. Well, most of the players for what they did, and just look forward, because like apparently he's going to be in charge for the Fulham game. I don't think that's wise, but yeah, I think until Rosenior comes in, it's just a case of like we got to take what we can get at the moment, because at the moment that the team is in a bad place in certain positions. Obviously, there's the manager situation. We've got a month where we're playing. Well, I said a month and a half. We're playing every 3 or 4 days again. So like, it's just a quick turnaround at the moment. Like we don't really have time to like mess about, especially now with the United situation. Like that's a positive for them getting rid of Amarin. And
Do you think that was a good sacking, by the way, Scott?
Yes.
Okay, so you agree with the sacking?
In terms of when I say a good sacking, I mean in terms of like he should have been sacked. The reason for his sacking was poor, but he should have been sacked. He should have just been sacked way earlier.
He's like Maresca in that sense. Like you might not have liked him, but
no,
it was the wrong
it's not the
time.
same as Maresca, because Maresca was doing a good job in terms of like there was say what you will about the last month, it was bad, but prior to that it was good. Last season we achieved our targets. Like everything was looking in a good place.
Yeah, he hadn't finished
what the manager was doing.
Yeah,
what Amarim has done is disgraceful. He should have got sacked after the Europa League final. Yeah. Is when he should have got sacked.
Even Tottenham got rid of Ange. If Tottenham do it, you know that you've got to do it.
So like, it was a good sacking. It's just it's the reason that he got sacked has nothing to do with what happened on the pitch. It's because he spoke out. Like it's the same thing as the Maresca thing. It's literally nothing to do with what happened on the pitch. But yeah, like as I said,
they've been doing quite well lately. They're like a win from Champions
League. They're sixth, sixth now, level on points with us. But yeah, like so they're in a good spot. I think obviously depending on who they get as manager, but I think almost anyone they get based on who they've been linked with is a positive for them. And it's going to be interesting, like with what we do going forward. Like I said, with Rosenior coming in after the Fulham game now, apparently, and where we go from there.
I still have an overriding feeling of negativity, unfortunately. Like, and I'm not on the side of always got to find a positive no matter what, blah blah blah. And I don't think I'm on the extreme side either, which, you know, I respect fans who call things out, but I even in the worst of circumstances, I could find a positive. Like when we lost 4-0 against City years ago, I remember Lewis Hall's performance. You know, like there's always something that you can go, okay, and you want to talk about positives. You don't always want to be negative, but you know, yesterday I felt the buzz. I did feel the buzz after the away, crowd, and it was fantastic when we got that goal. I mean, that was brilliant. That was honestly. I don't know if people will understand unless they've been, but that is what you go to football for. Moments like that. And people go, that's embarrassing. You drew.
Absolutely.
You don't understand. You don't understand the games where we haven't been able to get that. And you kind of always know when you're going that most of the time we're not going to get that equalizer or we're not going to score that winner. But when it happens, that sticks in your head forever. And that's what Fulham football's all about. But just going back to everything, like I'm in agreement with Aggie. I'm still pretty disgusted, to be honest with you, with just the whole situation around the club. I feel like the way that we've handled this Maresca situation. One of you, the sound's playing in the background. I'm trying to figure out who it is. You might have to mute when I'm speaking. Just because there's an echo, guys. So people that are listening, they'll have an echo.
Oh, okay. But
yeah, as I was saying, like I think it's pathetic. I think it's absolutely pathetic. You know, I was in the news from today for the Sun, and I'm just like, are you seriously asking me to talk to you about how I feel about Rosenior? Like, is this some sort of joke? And like that, honestly, I have to like compose myself just thinking about it now. Does it makes you feel sick. I think Rosenior is a good manager. I think he's a good manager. I think there's a lot of good managers. But that doesn't mean I think they should be Chelsea's manager.
How is he a good manager though?
I think he's done a good job with Strasbourg. But that doesn't mean he can do a good job with Chelsea, mate.
Fucking hell, bro.
Kev, what are you talking about? The guy's done a good job at Strasbourg. They went from 12th to 6th.
He's done a good job. He's done a good job at every single club he's been at, but there's like...
Mate, there's levels to this game. There's levels to this game. Kev, you don't understand what I'm saying. If you don't understand this point, you don't get what I'm saying.
I am so excited to see a fucking manager that got...
When did I say I'm excited? I said I feel sick.
I was going to say that I think this is where we struggle to like...
Boys, but okay, let me get... Are you saying that I'm advocating for the signing of Rosenior? Rosenior, whatever his name is.
Me?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. You're implying that I like the guy. I don't want him.
You're the one that's saying he's a good manager.
For Strasbourg.
You're the one that's saying he's a good manager.
Not for Chelsea, for Strasbourg.
Oh, right,
that's like saying Potter's good for Brighton. That's like saying, oh, God.
Brighton are better than
you don't even have to justify. By the way, you know what's crazy as well?
Okay, yeah.
Mate, I saw the notification today. Gary O'Neill to Strasbourg. Mate, that is ridiculous. That is, my God. They've downgraded. Strasbourg have downgraded. They have downgraded. I'm telling you right now, Gary O'Neill is not a better manager than Rosenior.
Gary O'Neill's done more in the game than Rosenior, though.
No,
he's done more in the game.
He hasn't. He just hasn't.
He's managed in the Premier League. Yes. He's managed in the Premier League.
So just because he's managed in the Premier League, cool. That's great.
That is something for a manager to put on his CV.
He's managed more games.
That is cool and all. I'm glad he was in a relegation battle in the Premier League. That's fantastic for him. He's never got a team in Europe ever in his career.
He's done more.
That's good for him, and he was in a relegation battle twice. That's good for him. Like, that's good for Gary O'Neill that he was in a relegation battle in the Prem twice, and that means he's done something in the game. That's real cool.
I don't think he's been in the French league with like a lot of money either. Like, do you know what I mean? He'd probably do a better job in France than he would in England, same as Rosenior. I think the ridiculous thing is, and I'm kind of with Alex on this, do you know what's ridiculous about this whole conversation is that we're sat here, Chelsea Football Club, talking about Liam Rosenior.
That's what I'm saying.
We should be talking about Klopp or a young upcoming manager who's like, people talk about Glasner and
Nagelsmann or something like that.
That would never happen. That would never happen.
But that's what I mean. It's like they're the people we should be talking about. I'm with Alex on this.
Under these honours, that would never happen. We were not going to get a manager from the top drawer to come to us. People talk behind the scenes. You got the situation. How embarrassing is Maresca? He wiped out all the compensation, the money, and everything, and he just said,
"Good for him.
I can't work with you anymore. I want my freedom. I want out. Keep your money. I'm gone."
This is the thing because of the structure above. You're right. At the minute, most top managers are not going to come in and want to work under that structure. A lot of them have worked under that structure at other clubs, so they have actually done it and made a success of it. But I don't think it's right to say that we can't attract the top manager, because we can, because all of the top teams in Europe wanted Esteban, and we got him. Man City wanted to keep Palmer, other teams wanted to sign Palmer. He came to us. We do still have the draw as a big club, like that people want, and also, I also believe that it's a very exciting prospect to go and manage Chelsea, because you know what, right? Let's say that these sporting directors stay in charge, and by accident, right, through pure luck, they play Football Manager one day, and some players do well that we actually want to sign, so they go out and sign them, because that's what they do. They play Football Manager, and then that's what they do in real life. Maybe one day it'll actually work, and they might think, fucking hell, if they go out and spend 400 million and get the right 5 players, all of a sudden I've got a 23-year-old squad that really can dominate football for the next 5 or 6 years. And tell me that's not an exciting prospect for a manager coming in. having all that transfer kitty being spent, and just thinks, well, maybe they're just going to get, maybe it goes in and as it, maybe a Luis Enrique goes in there and has a chat and they say, well, we was looking at these 4 or 5 players. Yeah, all right, where do I sign?
Can I ask you something though?
I live in Dreamland. I want it to happen.
Can I ask you all a question and I want an answer from you, know? You tell me a club out there, a serious club, a club which is in the top 10 clubs in the world, which is the sporting directors and the owners, they're buying the players, and the coach, the head coach, not the manager, is managing the team. You show me a club it's been so successful by doing that way.
The Italians have done it.
Real Madrid do that. Real Madrid do that for years.
Yeah, have done for years. Man City are pretty similar. Liverpool are pretty similar now. Arsenal are pretty similar now.
Well, I'd say that Arteta has a say at Arsenal.
Yeah,
Arteta
they have more of a say.
I think what Aggie's asking is what clubs have head coaches that are that successful.
I mean, Real Madrid. If Real Madrid they're doing it, they're going and buying the top players out there, 100 millions, 80 millions. They're not buying a young prospect, which it just come along 18, 17, and then they're going to develop him, and then hopefully they will put him in. I mean, Odegaard, he was at Real Madrid, and they let him go. You know what I'm saying? They buying ready-made players. They buying top names, and then if you go all these players, any manager is there, it must be such a bad manager not to get a tune out of them, or you know. And they always going to compete because in Spain, it's Real Madrid, it's Barcelona, and it's Atletico Madrid. There's no one else. So, you know, the model we're trying to use is signing all these young, inexperienced players. It's not going to bring us the success straight away. We might bring us a success maybe in 5-10 years' time, but you need to have a structure. You need to have everyone buying the same ideas. We're not at the minute. The owners, they want to do what they want to do. The sporting directors, the managers keep swapping and changing. You know, players come and go. It's no stability.
I still believe a top manager would want to come to Chelsea. I still believe top managers want to come to Chelsea.
Oh, like in terms of Chelsea, the name, in terms of Chelsea, the name, they 100% would. The issue is going to be is going to be where the expectations clash and the saying certain things, because I think Matisse put it really well on his reaction to Maresca getting sacked is when you bring a manager in, regardless of whether they're a big manager, small manager, whatever, they're going to have a certain expectation when they get in terms of let's just say top 4 is a target. The fan expectation is for us to eventually win trophies, and at this point quite quickly because we've waited long enough. So you're going to get to a point where the fan expectation reaches a point of we need to win, and that's going to be the manager is going to be the brunt of that. So then they're going to feel that they're going to get to the point of, okay, I now need to push on and win, which is going to require a certain level of player which these owners and sporting directors are not willing to buy. So they're then going to clash, and eventually this cycle just continues because eventually the expectations of the sporting directors / owners and the fans clash, and the manager is the one stuck in the middle because they have to basically try and appease both parties, which is impossible. And you reach a stage Maresca did where to progress to that next level, you just end up falling out with the sporting directors and owners because they're not buying the type of player that he wants. We got worse in the summer. We downgraded the squad. We're about where we should be in the league. And yet he's lost his job because of the fact he just wanted some players, and he's not in a situation where he was getting what he wanted. He deserved it after.
Do you believe he lost his job?
No, I believe he walked.
It's both at the end of the day. It's both. I think obviously he wanted to leave, but I think that is a culmination of just a breakdown in communication with the sporting directors and the owners, mainly the owners. But it also wasn't
he was ready to go after.
It wasn't like it wasn't like the what's it called? The owners wanted to keep him. Like they had no. They had no.
I believe they did want to keep him, and I believe that he put
But he
himself.
signed a new 5 years contract.
Questioned, but I think that they were perfectly happy with him.
If they were
decided, I'm not very happy with what's going
Alex,
on here.
if they were perfectly happy with him, if they were perfectly happy with him, they wouldn't have been talking to Zerbi in the summer. And when he asked for the new contract, they would have given it to him.
Scott, how could you not be happy with a manager who got you?
I don't know, Alex.
Conference League and won you a Club World Cup.
Alex, I have absolutely no idea. It doesn't make sense.
I don't get it either, but it seems to be the way it is. I'm kind of.
They had chats with De Zerbi in the summer, and the fact that they wouldn't give him a new contract, despite the fact that two morons upstairs got a new contract. The two morons upstairs got a new 6-year deal, by the way. A new 6-year deal for the work that Maresca did. He got nothing. Literally nothing. He got Garnacho. He got Garnacho and Gittins and Delap and these men. That was his reward for getting the Club World Cup. These guys got a new 6-year contract.
But he wanted a defender instead.
Yeah.
Yep.
He wanted a defender. This is what I'm trying to say, boys. How on earth we're going to progress as a club? Whoever comes in, whoever manager comes in, if he's going to go to those two, Winstanley and Stewart, and says to them, I want this same player, I want this same player. And then they're going to go and bring in random players. How is that going to work? That would never work. That would never work. We've seen it before. I remember Mourinho. Mourinho wanted a defender, and they went and brought him Papi Stilling Bonji, whoever it was. And that then Mourinho's left. You remember that? Mourinho got fed up because they had Frank Arneson there and Avram Grant. And the relationship broke, and then Mourinho's left. How's that going to work with this? It's like Pochettino. He says, I want to keep Conor Gallagher. I want to keep Chalupa. And they wanted to sell them. That's the relationship gone. I don't know how is it going to work. And now, what's the difference now? They're going to bring Liam Rosenior. What's the difference? Liam Rosenior, okay, managed a little bit in France. In England, he was Rooney's assistant. He was a little bit at home, and he got sacked. What's the difference between him and from Callum yesterday? You put someone next.
2
There's a
years.
lot.
2 years max. 2 years maximum. Liam Rosenior won't be here. Won't be here.
He probably won't. He probably won't, but that's also not on him. That's on this ownership group.
But it fits the purpose for the owners. That's why. That's why. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's so frustrating just thinking about it, because like you all said, we went from managers, top managers coming in. Now we've gone to that. The standards. This is what we're saying before. All this time I've been saying, Alex, since the day I met you, I said about the standards. Where's the standards? So now we're going to have Liam Rosenior. We're going to expect, we will get behind him, but I don't see it working. That's what I'm trying to say.
Let me ask you, Kev. Then, because this is one of the divides with the fan base is, how do you support the team and how do you show your frustration with the ownership? And the options go as follows. You protest, you don't go to games, you leave early, you don't buy any much, you don't give the club any money, you make your voices known with chants like Abramovich, and you make banners, tifos, etc. Like there's a list of things. Maybe I've missed some stuff out. And you boo as well. That's another thing that people have said. We need to boo the players. We need to boo, because it's not about them. It's about the project, and they are not the right fit for the project, i.e. Rosenior. So we're going to boo him, and it's nothing personal, but this is not Chelsea level. So, like, when you see all those different things, what do you think needs to be done in terms of how we support the team and how we, I guess, protest as well? Because it's not just the 17th of January. This is a much bigger conversation.
Yeah, just support the team like we did yesterday. For me, going yesterday, with all the negativity going around, I fully got up and I applauded the players and I supported them, which they needed. The players need our support. It's got to be aimed at the people upstairs, and it's got to be continuous. I don't think just doing it on the 17th of January is gonna do anything. If you think just going out and just bringing your banners out for one day is gonna do anything, you're deluded. It's got to be as continuous as possible. 1 game a month, 2 games a month. We've got to keep on doing it. Win, lose, or draw. We go on a massive winning spree. We win 10 games in a row. I don't want to be seeing people coming out saying that Chelsea are back. I don't want to be coming out saying, oh, yeah, these players are good. I don't want to be saying, oh, Liam wasn't there, was a good managerial decision. I don't want to be hearing it. I want us to be blue cat out consistently. That's it. Don't care if we finish second place. I don't care if we go on a massive run now. People have got to keep the same energy. I'm fed up of seeing people flipping every single fucking week. We win 4 games. Oh, yeah, and that. And then we lose a couple. Manager out, blue cut out. Just keep the same energy. Every one of us now have got to keep the same energy. That's it. That's all I'm expecting. Once a month, we all get together outside the Bovril Gate with our banners and we sing and we make the board know that this model isn't working. It's not a Chelsea way of doing things. The managerial decisions have been dross, and they've got to change it. As else, it's just going to continue to happen next season and the season after the season after. We're going to witness the shit that we've been witnessing. Simple as that.
Yeah. I mean, big up to Hiko as well. He says these venture capitalists would never change. That's the issue, isn't it? It's not an individual. It's a corporate entity, and it's not about one man or the other. At least Bowley owns his shares. Bowley actually owns his own shares. Clearlake is owned by shareholders and controlled by shareholders, unfortunately. So there might be pressure from fans. Sorry, Aggie.
Is there any communications? Any like some people to go and reach to these people and try and speak to them, like the fan base? The fan base, what we're thinking, like Joe Cole came out yesterday and he said stuff like that. Can they not see what Joe Cole said? Can they not see?
Yeah,
I think
if he loses, he said if he loses 3 games in a row, the fans will boo him. And it won't happen.
Yeah, but they're idiots.
Mate,
I'm gonna be completely honest. If fans boo Rosenior or like boo the players, like you're just an idiot and a loser. Like just being completely honest. Like they're not the people that should be the players may be a bit because of the crap form, but they're not the people that should be taking the brunt of this nonsense. Like Rosenior's taking a job that he's well within his rights.
Yeah.
Like he's well within his rights to take this job. Exactly, it's not Rosenior's fault. If you boo him, you're a loser. Like you're just a loser. I'm gonna be honest. The person that should get the brunt, and this is why I think.
What would you say to this then, Scott? What do you say to this? Comments they're booing him, but it's at the owners. They don't get to see the owners. That's their way of interacting with the club.
No, that's stupid.
The people who are running the club.
Because again, like it says, otherwise you can do it, right? You can chants are probably the easiest way. Because the person that this should be directed at is Barley. And the comment about, or the super chat about the venture capitalists, this is where someone suggests this on a stream. And I don't know how viable it is, but it seems like the best option is if there's enough negative PR around the club in terms of the chanting, because it will get talked about by, Talk Sport and other media outlets. If there's not booing, but chanting about Barley, if there's enough I know someone mentioned about throwing stuff on the pitch because that happened with Reading and with a team in the Bundesliga. I don't remember who it was. If that happens and, Clearlake or Chelsea stock go potentially down at all, or there's a negative effect, Clearlake will remove Barley, which might be the best case scenario. If there's enough bad PR, there's a potential they remove him as the face, right? And they get someone else in to run the project. Because like you said, Alex, it's shareholders, it's it's the shares are what matter. So I'm saying if you can create enough bad PR around Chelsea, not in obviously not in a scandal sort of way, you can potentially get a change to happen in terms of Barley not being the top dog. You mentioned, I saw your reaction after not the last game, the game before, of potentially Bowley buying him out as well. That would be another good option. Bowley's not necessarily the perfect choice, but it's it's better than what we've got. It's the lesser of two evils.
You know what? Wolves have proven that when you get together as a fan base and you consistently do things, which I've got a lot of mates who support Wolves, and they've been doing it every week with banners going to the front gates.
Well,
They're
this is the thing. What's it called? Jeff Shee stepped down as chairman. I think he's no longer involved. And this is the thing. With enough energy from the fan base directed at the right person, this is the thing as well. With the protest, with this, if your message is blue co out, again, you're an idiot because that can't change. That can't change currently. What can change?
That's where there's an argument from the other side saying it can, because that's why Blue Co exists, because it can be sold, not Chelsea, but because Blue Co owns the umbrella, you can sell that.
That's cool, like, and maybe that's how it works in terms of selling it. Blue Co would still exist then. Blue Co would still own Chelsea. It would just be a different owner of Blue Co. So again, this is where I say the message needs to be clear in terms of it needs to be directed at Egbali. The sporting directors, like, I think they need to leave, and I still think even with them leaving, Egbali staying, if you were to get a better sporting director and to keep the same model, which isn't the problem, by the way, that's another talking point, you can still be successful and we can still be successful. But the person that this needs to be aimed at is Egbali. Aiming it at the players and the manager, especially the manager, is stupid. And like I said, and I'll reiterate, you're a loser if you boo him. You're just a loser.
So you just said the model is not the problem.
Let Aggie respond, Kev. Let Aggie was speaking. Aggie was speaking.
So you saying, sorry, what's your name?
Scott.
Scott, you're saying, Scott, the model is not the problem?
I don't think the model on the face of it is the problem. I think the way they have utilized the model is the issue. I use an example like PSG, right? They have the 5th youngest squad in Europe, I think. They won a Champions League doing that. What they've done, though, is they've gone the younger under 25 route with sprinkling in some experience. You know, they already had Marquinhos. They went and got like Dembele, for example. They've got Fabian Ruiz in the midfield. And also what they've done is they went and bought the best young players. Pacho, Nuno Mendes. Who else have they bought? They've bought like Vitinha, Neves. Kvaratskhelia was like 23 when they bought him. That's why I say the model in itself, in terms of like the under 25 and the incentivized wages, on the face of it, that's not a bad model. They've taken that idea and completely, and I've said this before, bastardized it. Like, instead of going and getting the best under 25s, for example, I think I've said this on a stream before. If you go and get Ekatike, who's 22, fits the model, would have fit the wages. He's an instant improvement in attack. At left wing, you could have gone and got, or you could have got Elise. Obviously, the wages are a bit of an issue. That would have improved the attack. In defence, at centre back, there are centre backs you could have got that have moved that would have improved our defence.
Mark Dewey.
I don't know if he fits the model entirely because of the age, but maybe that's one of the exceptions. You could have got under 25 players that fit the wage that would have been miles better than what we have signed. So that's why, for me, it's not the model that's the issue, it's the quality of player we're buying. Because like, if we bought Ekatike, no one's complaining if he's playing up front, because he probably is scoring the goals that Delap and João Pedro are. And again, he's 22. So I don't think that's the issue. The problem is we're buying Gittins and Garnacho, who are terrible.
The thing is, the way I see it, you need experience. Under the age of 25, you could buy the talents you're saying, you know, the ones that just arise the season or two. Yeah, if they come to you because your wages is really low, and the next club will come in and say, no, I'm not giving you 150, I'm giving you 200 or 250. So they'll go there. But how you cannot have any experienced players over the age of 25 and you expect this model to work? It will never work. You need experience to pair them up with these young players. I'm not saying all the youngsters we got now, they're not good enough. We got good youngsters, yeah. Cole Palmer is a good youngster. Estevao is a prospect. You know, Casedo, you know, I could see here and name all them. But why we cannot sign 2 or 3 or 4, 28, 27, 29 years of age players, which they've been there, they've done it. You know, or even older than that.
I think we need the right kind of experience, though, as you're seeing with some of the players we've got in the squad who are experienced. Disasi, Tosin as the two examples. They've got experience, but the level of experience they've got is not good enough. The
It's not good
experience
enough.
we need is we need experience leaders, and also just in terms of winning stuff. Granit Xhaka would have been a perfect signing for this team. Would have been a perfect
there
signing
you
for this team.
go.
Like
And
as
I
a
mean,
backup in the
Can I just
midfield,
say,
as a guy who can play both the Enzo and Caicedo roles, he would have been perfect.
can I just say with the model as well, this is perhaps the issue with the model at the moment is the model, and what I suppose it is, Aggie, right? You're right. I signing 4 or 5 experienced players, 3 or 4 experienced players would have been ideal. That's what we want. But the model is that we're buying them now, and we're at the start of the model. We haven't had a transitional period from the model, so we've got to wait for the players that we've bought to become experienced. That's the idea.
That's literally what they want.
Right.
So in 4 or 5 years, you keep some of the experienced players, and then you go out and restock with another load of youngsters. It just hasn't had time to happen yet. And I suppose that Chelsea fans are becoming quite rightly impatient. We are a top team. We are one of Europe's elite. We are the pride of London at the end of the day. We have won 2 Champions Leagues in very recent memory, as well as a plethora of other trophies. But it's been nearly 10. It's been coming up, but by the time that we're ready, even close to being ready to win the league, let's say that miraculously it happened next season. It's been 10 years since we've won a league. It's not fucking good enough. So we do need to play.
I get that, mate. But what I'm trying to say is, I'm not against signing the youngsters. I'm not against signing the under 25, but blend them with experienced players, with the right manager. You look at Arsenal. They've been signing all these players. Why did they sign Eze? Why did they sign the Zucumenti? Why did they sign players which they got 2 players in each position now, experienced youngsters? They're mixing it up. This is what I don't get. Why everyone has to be under the age of 25?
They're 5 years ahead of our model, though.
We're still waiting. We're still waiting to see Lavia, 3 years injured.
Yeah, he's always go.
Yeah, blame Pochettino for that.
Blame Pochettino for what? Why Lavia is getting injured?
Yeah, blame Pochettino for that.
I think it goes a bit further than Poch. But
Poch was the catalyst, and then it's just got worse from there.
Yeah. Overplayed him. Overplayed him.
I mean,
not overplayed him, bro. He got him in training. It was one training session. That's all it was.
Boys, we've got quite a lot to get through. I've got some interesting stuff as well that I'm sure you may have seen, or you might have even scrolled past, and I'm sure a lot of people would have seen this as well. But I saw a letter from Strasbourg to their members. I think it's the United Ultra Boys 90. That's what they're called. And I basically saw this letter, and there's not really much context in the post. And I thought, okay, so I stuck it on ChatGPT, and I said, "Can you translate this letter?" Now it turns out that a portion of the Strasbourg fans, again, I don't watch Strasbourg regularly. If anyone does, let me know. It's either a portion of the fans or the ultras or whatever it is have been banned from going to games for a period. So I'm just going to read this letter. This is to the members. It says, "To all lovers of Racing Club de Strasbourg, and particularly to our members, let's start with the most important thing. We wish every one of you a happy 2026, and we hope it brings prosperity and victories for racing. If some of our members who disagree with the way we express our struggle chose not to renew their membership, we can proudly announce that we've passed the 1,000 member mark this season for the second time in our 35-year history. We want to thank everyone who supports us. We'd also like to speak about the state of our relationship with the club's representatives during this turbulent first half of the season. 3 meetings have taken place recently, all cordial and respectful of everyone's opinions. The first allowed us to restart a calmer dialogue where each side was able to explain itself. The second allowed us to remind the club how disproportionate the sanctions issued against us are compared with the peaceful actions we have carried out. After 2 away trips that we were unable to attend because of the imposed named ID ticketing, which was Lyon and Rennes, the club has allowed us to travel again by recognizing us as an association, as has always been the case. In return, and in the interest of easing tensions, we agreed not to display our Blue Co Out banner in the stadium, nor to wave our large flag on the same subject. This difficult concession must not hide the fight we will continue to lead against multi-club ownership and its disastrous consequences in the interest of our club, especially since in many other stadiums, supporters can freely express their opinions without such restrictions. So why in Strasbourg should supporters be silenced? At the third meeting, we asked for the sanctions taken against us to be lifted. These measures are unjustified, disproportionate, and restrictive of freedoms. Moreover, they do not only make the work of operational staff more complicated, the staff who endure these sanctions on the front line through systematic checks of our match day materials and banners, they also have a concrete and lasting impact on our ability to animate the stand. In particular, we have had to give up hanging our banners and our ability to produce tifos, which are a part of the identity and reputation of our stand and are now heavily limited. Added to this are daily logistical constraints, access checks, security, which makes our operation more complex. The club representatives with who we spoke would prefer to lift the measures on the condition that a quarter of an hour of silence ends. So for those of you who don't know, basically at the beginning of every match for the first 25 minutes in protest to Blue Co, Strasbourg are silent. And they say that is an impossible condition to accept. So Strasbourg refused to accept that. They're going to continue with the silence. The sanctions we are facing stem from a statement and banners in the stand, not from that quarter hour of silence, and it will never end as a condition for lifting possible sanctions. Almost done. As a result, we remain consistent with our principles by refusing to submit to any pressure, whether it comes from the club via unjustified sanctions or from other supporters via whistles, insults, and other threatening behavior, whose only goal is to wipe the expression of our 30-year values. So basically, what's happened is this specific group, I'm guessing it's the Ultra Boys. So it's the Ultras. Have been banned from going to games for 2 matches. Their tifos and banners have been restricted, and Blue Co are trying to say, listen, we will lift sanctions off you if you stop doing your 25 minutes of silence. To which they've said, well, that's not going to happen. So it's a really interesting situation. I think it's a really interesting letter as well. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on it.
Wow.
It's been going on for a while there, hasn't it?
It's crazy.
Not surprised at all. Like, considering everything we know about Mcfarlane and Blue Co, like, it's just ego. Like, it's just, he has the most fragile ego I've ever seen from an owner, like, potentially ever. Like, it's certainly up there. Yeah, like, this doesn't surprise me at all. Just at all. This is what they do. Yeah, like I don't know what to say because I don't have any surprise over this. Like, this is what they do. They don't care at all like about either club they own in terms of a footballing side of things. That it's just a money thing, which doesn't surprise me considering they're an investment like company. They are what they are. Yeah.
I mean, will be interesting if that happened. Liam Rosenior come to us, how their fans will react because they've been doing okay, they in the league. So that won't go down well with their fans, I think.
I mean, they've not been doing great in the league. They've won like 2 in 9, I think it is. But I think he is one of the better parts of their club at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just you've managed to you own 2 clubs and you've managed to simultaneously derail both of their seasons in the space of about a month or 2 weeks. Like, it's an incredible feat. Like, fair play, well done. I'm impressed. But yeah, they don't care because this is the same. This is the same owners and the same club. 1 year prior, We had injuries. We could have done with a midfielder. They refused to recall Andre Santos because they didn't want to disrupt Strasbourg's season.
It's mad. Honestly, it's mad. Like when I was reading that, I was shocked by it. I mean, this kind of goes back to what you were saying as well, Kev. You were saying win, lose, or draw. You know, we need to have the same mentality. Strasbourg from day one, before they even knew what was going on, they were protesting this stuff. That's the mad thing as well. Like, and this is what you get at smaller clubs, because they don't have the pull of Chelsea to attract tourists regularly. The club is more reliant on those regular match going fans.
Localized fans. Yeah. So they're putting together, obviously, and they're trying to get Blue Car out. They're in the same position as us, but the thing with them is they've got ultras, and they will make a lot of noise. They will have a lot of banners, and they will do it every single week consistently. Not like us, once a year, twice a year, which is not enough.
They could burn the whole place up in a minute.
Yeah, and Barney's laughing at us, mate.
And the French people, I don't know if anyone like knows their history and know French people. When they protest, they protest. Like they protest. So yeah, like it's not surprising.
You've seen the farmers. They had like tractors, mate, and they were throwing like they had the tractors spraying like shit on the house. I don't know if it's the Houses of Parliament or something like that. There was like riot police, and they were covered in shit mate, from the fucking tractors, like actual dung, poo, whatever it is.
I think I remember hearing somewhere that they introduced something to do with speeding, like reducing the speed limit or something on motorways or something. This was a few years ago. So the French people reacted by blocking motorways, by literally just blocking the motorways and making it impossible for anyone to get anywhere.
Yeah,
like this is what they do. This is what French people do. And also, like, this is in terms of the Strasbourg thing, like they've hated their owners, the owners, for multiple reasons. Like some of it is historical. Excuse me. Yeah, like some of it is historical with their previous experiences with American owners, and obviously no American owner is the same, but they've had poor experiences previously. And so yeah, they've also got a case study in terms of what can go wrong with multi-club ownership in their same league, in Troyes. So I'm kind of not surprised. They've reacted that way. It's why I've never, when it comes to Strasbourg, I've never told Strasbourg fans how to feel about the owners and how to, like, whether they should be in the right for like protesting or being angry or whatever, because at the end of the day, they're going to have different experiences than we are. They're going to be in a different boat in terms of how they view this ownership. They're going to be in a different boat in terms of how the club is run in certain instances. So yeah, like, they're well within their rights to do this. And like I said, I'm not surprised with the attempts at like quelling it. It's not going to work, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you.
We've lost you, Aggie.
I think Aggie's gone.
Nope.
Let's see if Aggie can come back. Let's see if he comes back.
Yeah.
How we doing, Aggie, mate? Can we see you now?
I've lost you for a minute. Yeah. Like you said, Scott. I mean, this just shows these owners we got now how bad they are, how they destroying, how they making things so bad for Strasbourg and for us. You know what I mean? It's astonishing what's happening with them. If I'm a Strasbourg fan and now I've seen you taking my manager you brought here and you're taking him away, it's like how you make me feel as a fan. Like, you don't care about me. You don't care about the club. You don't care.
It's not even just, sorry to interrupt, Aggie. It's not even just that. It's the constant turnover of their team. Like, if you look at their team currently, there is 5 or 6 players that will be joining us next season from that club. Potentially half the starting 11 is leaving that club in the summer to come to us. And we know there's going to be other players that leave, probably, like we saw Backwell leave for Forest this window. I think there were others off the top of my head. I can't remember. But yeah, so like there's constant turnover. So there's no, similar to us in a sense of like there's no level of stability.
No.
The one person I feel so bad for, by the way, is Mark Keller, the chairman. I feel so bad for him because, like, you can tell he loves that club. Like, he did all he could to rescue that club from the pits of hell. Like, before he came in, they were in a terrible, terrible place. He's done all he can to, like, rescue them. He's tried to, like, build a better future for the club in terms of, like, selling them to owners that are going to invest. At the end of the day, like, I know that's the one positive thing you can say about Clear Lake, and there aren't many, but they have invested a lot of money in Strasbourg, which they wouldn't have otherwise invested, or they wouldn't have otherwise had that. And he's trying to, like, be the kind of the peacemaker between the fans and the owners, because, like, he just loves the club as much as he does. And yeah, I just feel bad for him at the end of the day, because, like, he's having to face so much shit because of these owners.
He's probably going to resign if.
Yeah, I saw that.
He's probably gaining from every angle now, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's gaining from the Strasbourg fans. He's gaining now. He's got to deal with Clear Lake. I mean, it's such a mess, isn't it?
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Just big shout out to Bill. Thanks for the super chat, mate. He says credit to the boys and the fans, but the message has to be the same: win, lose or draw, all of Blueco out. Don't be optimistic about the squad after that. Same thing as the Arsenal result, etc. That's the message. Go on, Aggie, mate.
No, I'm
boys,
just
I'm
saying.
gonna shoot. I've got to shoot.
No worries, Kev. You have a good one, mate.
All right, Kev.
Right after, boys. So, boy.
See you later, mate. I mean, I had a conversation at the game yesterday with someone, a good friend of mine, and I just said to him, I mean, we're going back in the days when we didn't have no money, and I was like, we not compromised, we accepted it. Like, we didn't have no money, we were going to enjoy the players, they were giving everything, and then we were thinking, are we going to sign anyone? Are we going to bring anyone in? And then you see a little article in the newspaper saying, oh, we might sign him for 100,000, 50,000, or we might get him on loan or something. We got money with these owners. We got money. And that's the most frustrating thing. Decisions they're making is so frustrating on the fan base. I don't know who is advising them. I don't know what's going on with them. We're spending money. It's not like we're not spending money. I just want them to change and feel the fan base, feel what we're trying to say to them. That's all,
Hey, well, that's the thing. We're spending money, but we're spending money to make money. That's what it ultimately looks like. We're gonna go on to the game because we've barely spoken about the football side. Like, I want to ask you about. I mean, Warren, I'd love to know what you think about Callum Mcfarlane and the lineup yesterday. Obviously, Sanchez not available, Cucurella not available, Caicedo not available. So there's a number of things going into the game that we didn't really know what to expect. Even the style, really. Like, I don't think we expected anything crazy, but you would expect a few tweaks.
Yeah, well, like I said, with them players that you mentioned, along with sort of Chalobah and probably Enzo Fernandez, they have been our senior players this season. They have been our, along with Reece James as well, obviously. But they have been our more senior players and certainly our more consistent performance, like, Cucurella and Caicedo especially have been excellent. Like, even when we've played poorly, I think they've been good most of the time. And Sanchez has to be one of the most improved players, just his decision making as much as anything else. So I think they were big misses. And I think it's the last thing you want is like three of your better players that have been playing quite well when you're going away to Man City and you've never managed a football team in the Premier League before. So I think that, listen, don't take this out of context. I don't think it was for one game, just for one game, it wasn't a difficult job because he just said, you know what to do. You know what Man City are going to do. You're professional footballers. You play against Man City all the time. You have all these briefings and all these analysis. You have all this stuff going on. You know all that. You know that you're going to have to be structured. You know you're going to have to track your runners and do this and do that. But go out there and play a game of football. is basically all he would have had time to say. He can't change anything tactically or anything. So, like, you know, he would have done well to keep the players like motivated. I think people have, like, some people believe maybe the players felt I thought they owed Maresca a performance. Somebody quite rightly said in the chat that they done it for the away support, which would have been a huge factor, because like I said, I thought the fans sounded like they were brilliant yesterday, so there would have been a huge part of that as well. The challenge for Mcfarlane will be the Fulham game, because now he's got to actually prepare for a game. He's got to set up for a game. He's got to potentially have some of these players back, but potentially other players might be injured, and he's got to manage their fatigue. And we know how difficult that can be. We've had a lot of conversations about over resting or not resting enough players and stuff or whatever. So now he's actually got to prepare for a game. Now he's got a few days and he's got to prepare for a game. And, like, you know, potentially, if we don't know what the conversations are, maybe Rosenior has said that, you know, I want to see out this next game for Strasbourg, so Mcfarlane might be in charge for another 2 or 3 games. We don't know what's going on, so that's the challenge for him. So, but what I think it was a good performance. I think it was typical of Chelsea this season under Maresca as well, where we played well for half a game. But, you know, they showed some good fighting spirit, as they did under Maresca as well on a few occasions. They battled a bit in the second half. They responded to the Chelsea fans and they kept battling to the end. And you saw what it meant to Fernandes to get that goal. And it was a big goal. And I don't care that it helps Arsenal. Fuck Arsenal. Fuck Man City. We're Chelsea. I want to get the point for us, right? And I'm not here jumping around the front room like we've just won the World Cup, over celebrating. Like, I'm not Liverpool in front of the Kop after West Brom giving it all that with everyone. Like, I'm not going to be too dramatic. But it was a big point for the football club yesterday. It was a big point for the fans who, after Christmas and New Year, had another nightmare journey with, like, crap trains. And it's absolutely Baltic outside, and they still turned up in excellent numbers. I just think that they deserved the point and they deserve to celebrate it. And I think that the players deserve the admiration that they got from the fans. So I don't think that there was over celebrating it. I don't necessarily buy into that. We wasn't giving Olays singing on the train on the way home, putting posts all over social media saying we're going to win the Premier League. It was a good point for the club, and it was well earned by everyone. So, like, just well done, basically. It's a positive for me. It is.
Yeah, I mean, Aggie, I could see you in the away stand. You were a few rows in front of me, and I was when I finally saw you, like, that's when we were struggling in the first half, and you're like, oh, you know, very animated. I was going to come and say hello, but then I thought, no, let's just watch the game. But I mean, we managed to change things. But I mean, in terms of the first half, like, what do you make of the way we set up? Do you think we're going to do anything similar against Fulham, or do you think that we're going to continue with that formula that we had in the second half when we changed the formation?
I think the formation changed from the first half. I mean, the way we set up, the formation changed anyway. So if you see the game, Gusto was playing on the left. We had Achimpong, Chalobah, Badiashile, and then we had Esteval keep coming all the way on the right-hand side. And then he changed with Neto. But it's a different game on Wednesday. I mean, the game yesterday, completely different game. Man City away. He chose with the plan, he set the team up, and he did work. Bit of passion, a bit of fight, it did work. Wednesday is a different story. But I like the way he set them up. I like the changes he made. You know, he addressed the things at halftime. He took Esteval, he put Santos in midfield next to Reece, give us that shield. This is what we've been saying. Maresca was setting up. He was putting Enzo, Caicedo, and Cole Palmer. You know, we're struggling. You need to shield the midfield. When Pochettino did it with Connor and Caicedo, it did work. And then halftime, credit to Callum, credit to the coaching team there. They addressed it. And then we came out second half, and you could feel it. You could feel it in the game, like it's coming. We're going to get a chance. We're going to get a chance. But still, we look a bit shaky at the back, inexperienced. You know, every time the ball was going to Jorgensen, Hato came on. My God, as soon as he came on, first touch, I think Jorgensen put him into that position. and the ball went out, I'm thinking, oh my God, give him a chance, you know.
I'll say
But
Hatter was all right when he come on.
yeah, the first touch, as soon as he came on, ball goes to Jorgensen. Jorgensen pinned in on him on the left-hand side. He went to take a touch and the ball miskicked it. It just went out. And I'm thinking, just let him settle. It just came. These are signs of inexperience. This is when you need someone there, what we're saying about experienced players. Imagine Thiago Silva there. He would calm them down. You know, he would relax. We're playing against a big team there. But it was all positive yesterday. You know, we've done a job, we got a point. Yeah, let's move on. Now Wednesday, it's a different game. Let's see how we're gonna go Wednesday. You know, we might go Wednesday and blow them apart, but then we might go Wednesday and then it might be completely a disaster. You don't know what you're gonna get from this Chelsea team. You don't.
You know, one thing that I think we will get, and I'd love to know what you think about this, Scott, is no more inverting fullbacks. I think the days of inverting your right backs are over. I think it's done. I don't think it's happening again. As far as I'm aware, Rosenior, he likes his wing backs, but he's not one to invert. He just puts. I think he put Barco, who was a left back, as a midfielder, but he didn't take him from left back and ask him to go, and he just made him a midfielder point.
I think he was to begin with. I think he was to begin with. Like, the thing about Rosenior, and this is why I don't know what he's going to do at Chelsea, is because he's done a lot of different things since he's been at Strasbourg, in terms of systems, in terms of players playing in certain positions. I saw a tweet, by the way. I know it's slightly off the game. I saw a tweet that was like, "Oh, with Rosenior, we're finally going to get players in their actual positions." I need you to go and watch who plays where with Rosenior. He was the dude playing Moreira at left back. He was the dude playing Barco in central midfield. Pires has played striker at least once this season. And I'd hold your horses with that, just for a moment. But yeah, like, I think the inverted fullback thing, like, maybe not. Saying that Reece still played midfield. I thought that was only a Maresca thing. But yeah, like,
I'll give Maresca credit for that. Just like we gave Poch credit for inverting Cucurella. You know,
James is brilliant.
It's something that I think ultimately other managers will follow on with. I don't think it's a bad thing. I actually think
if we had a really good right back, I'd want Reece James in midfield.
But also, when you're missing Caicedo, it's like you got the perfect replacement to give you a bit of bite. But I mean, that's without having a Sugo and Lavia, which changes the conversation.
James is better than a Sugo anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I don't think necessarily we see the inverted fullbacks again. I don't know. Ultimately, it was nice to see Gusto at wing back. Like, he actually played well, but I think it was one of those of, like, the game was simplified for him. We've had this before, where, like, if you simplify his game, he's fine. He's a decent footballer. If you try and complicate things for him, he has not got the mental capabilities from a footballing standpoint to understand any of it, and he just looks lost. If you simplify his game, it's like that's when you get the best out of him. It was interesting that the formation change in the second half, going from a back four, a back six really for the most of the first half, to a back three with the wing backs was interesting. The 3-man midfield worked. I'm not surprised, considering who you played in there. And yeah, like, the changes worked. I find it funny in terms of the changes that if I don't really take much from this game, because I find it funny with the changes. If Maresca had made those same changes in terms of playing the 3-man midfield, taking Esteval off at half-time, who was our best attacker in that first half. I'm not saying the attack was good, but he was definitely the best of the crap bunch. Playing Neto for 90 minutes when he did nothing, playing Palmer for 90 minutes when he put in probably his worst performance of the season, he'd have got crap for that. Callum didn't, because he's an under-21s manager and no one cared, and it was vibes. You thought
Palmer had his worst performance of the season?
Palmer was crap. He was
in the second half.
Palmer was
awful the whole game.
Awful.
He was terrible.
No, I think that Palmer
was comfortably the worst player on the pitch.
Those two.
He was comfortably the worst player on the pitch. It was him or Neto.
Palmer and Neto. And you know what annoys me?
Neto, I'm with you on. I think on the ball, Achimpong was disappointing. Gave the ball away many times. I thought Esteval was poor in the first half. Palmer was not the worst player on the pitch. Oh my god,
terrible. He was awful. He
When
gave no
Palmer
effort.
had the ball, he was actually
doing nothing.
carrying it at times, and I was
and
like,
doing nothing with it. He was doing the same thing we criticised João Pedro for. Too many touches. He had the chance to release it to Neto multiple times, to Delap.
Look, I mean, if we're gonna
crap.
nitty pick,
He was
then
terrible.
I'm sure that there's things that he could have done better. But for me, Palmer looked free, mate. He looked free, and he looked like he was enjoying himself on the pitch. And I don't think he
That's
had a
enjoying himself. Oh dear God!
I don't think that it's
the guy was not just standing there and passing and static. He was moving, mate. He was making runs. He was
And losing the ball.
him and Delap, like they were okay together. There was a bit of link up. I can see something there. I'm
Sorry?
very, very surprised that
Tragic.
you said Palmer was the worst. But I'm very
I don't think that Palmer was the worst player on the pitch, but I don't think it's nitpicking. I think it's nitpicking. If somebody scores, if somebody scores 2 goals and creates 3 chances and leads the team and leads by example and plays brilliant, but then you pick up a couple of little things, I think that's nitpicking. I don't think Palmer had a good enough game for it to be just like to say that it's nitpicking, because I don't, he was poor. Nobody was great going forward in the first half, so you can't look at just Palmer for that. It's the whole team, because the team as a unit wasn't attacking well enough, right? We wasn't finding ways to create chances.
We're talking about the second half here, right?
No, I'm talking about the first half. Even in the second half, Palmer didn't. I don't remember Palmer affecting the game massively from an attacking sense.
Okay, let me be clear. Like, it wasn't that he had shots on goal or he was picking these unbelievable passes, but for me it just seemed like he was in spaces and he was receiving the ball and carrying it. Like, you look at the counter attack where Neto missed that chance, if I'm not wrong, Palmer won the ball back, and then he carried the ball, laid it off to Enzo, and you get that chance with Neto. I don't see that happening with Maresca. I just don't see that happening.
We've seen it happen plenty of times with Maresca, him doing the same thing.
We
saw it. The Bournemouth game comes. Was it Bournemouth? The James free kick comes from the Palmer having freedom, having space in midfield, and driving with the ball. Like, we've seen that under Maresca. The game yesterday, he was terrible. There was no pressing. There was he was walking most of that game off the ball. There was no pressing. There was no effort.
I think we were told not to press.
That's cool. There was no effort for him. We've got on Delap for the same thing. We've got on Garnacho. We've got on every player. He gets the same thing. There was no energy, no effort at all.
I have been expecting more of Palmer more recently. More as games have gone on, and the more games that he's played.
I think that Palmer will improve. I think that Palmer will improve now that Maresca's gone, mate. I think that Palmer will improve if he's played differently to the way we utilised him as a 10.
Yeah.
If it's the same formation, if it's the same position, I can't really say too much. But if he's given the freedom, not even like Poch, because I think that was a bit extreme, but just given more freedom, on top of the fact that hopefully there's a bit of link up there with other players, and you've got an extra midfielder in there as well. I think as an individual, I think you will see more from Palmer. I also think as an individual, Delap.
I don't deny it. I don't.
It doesn't mean the team. It's not best for the team. This is why I defended Maresca, because the team did well with the guy, but individuals suffered. But I think individually, you'll see Palmer improve, at least with his numbers.
I think we're expecting more
for Delap in terms of what he can do. Like, Delap was fantastic when he came on. He was fantastic.
It was good. I think we're expecting more from Palmer because what we saw in the previous seasons. We seen him doing stuff, and we seen him driving people and finding the passes and scoring the goals, taking shots, and that's what we're expecting now. We know he can do it, but for some reason at the moment, it's not happening. He's come back from an injury. Let's give the boy a chance. Slowly. Hopefully, now we see a bit more from him because we need him.
I was going to say we need to start seeing something, because I mean, as much as he may have been in spaces and shown glimpses of what's going to come, and we all know the boy's talent. There's no question of it. But did he have even a shot that was blocked yesterday?
Did he create anything?
No. Are you still talking about Palmer?
Did he create anything of note? Like, he had the chance in the box where he misses it completely as well. Like, where he with his right foot. Like, he offered nothing in terms of, like, really affecting the game.
It's
Lost
not-
the ball
it's
the
not-
second
it's
most
not the
amount
worst
as well.
game he's had. I think the worst game that,
Up there.
that he. No.
This season is up there. It's the
I
worst
mean,
game.
Neto, he was poor yesterday. I thought they were
Yeah, I'll be honest.
times.
I was gutted with that. And Neto's my guy, but yeah, he was shite.
Yeah,
He had a
he's
Neto
completely
performance.
devoid of confidence at the minute. He's completely devoid of confidence. There's a few moments he had a chance to shoot and he just didn't, and it was just, what you're doing.
It's not confidence. Like we've seen a year and a half of Neto to know that's not confidence. That's Neto. That's just Neto.
At the start of the season, I think he was one of the people that was one of our best players. It wasn't just that.
He's got the same GNA as Madueke did at the same point last season.
He looked at, I liked him.
Yeah, but what did Madueke didn't offer like anything defensively.
The only thing he didn't offer was cool defensively. Alex, we've had this one. I don't care.
It's
You're
important.
You're a winger.
It's important.
You
just said that Palmer was walking. It's important to it's important to defend.
He's got
me.
You're an attacker. I care about what you do offensively first and fourmost.
But Neto's scoring goals and getting assists this season.
None of our strikers
important goals.
I'm going to say none of our strikers.
He was our best player in the Club World Cup.
Good for him.
I'm still missing William, to be honest. All the wingers we got, I'm still missing William. None of them, it could be anyone as good as William.
Okay, give me Solomon Kalou tomorrow in his current form. Please give me Solomon Kalou. I give
honestly. I look Garnacho, I look Gittins, I look Neto, I look Esteval. Well, you put all these four together, they can't give me a William, they can't give me a Petro, they can't give me Hazard, they can't give me anything. You know, I was screaming up there yesterday. I was like, take him on and take a shot. No, we're cutting back, we're cutting out, we're cutting. I was
trained out of players now. Completely trained out of players now. Completely trained out of players. Completely.
It drives me mad.
It drives me mad. The idea of beating a man and getting to the byline is a bygone era. It's almost gone. I mean, the ironic thing is that Man City are one of the teams that are like sort of better at it now with people like Doku. They actually got players to go past people. But look what happens when Jack Grealish is given a little bit of freedom. I mean, I know it makes a difference that he's in an Everton side and he's not in a Man City side, so he's going to get the ball a lot more and he's going to get the opportunity to create chances to score goals more. I get that. But he's been given a bit more freedom. Like, do you know what I mean? To actually beat a player and create a chance rather than just, like, I don't like all the passing inside and passing out from the back. You know, I don't know who it was who said it on telly, but I think it was actually Gary Neville that said it, funny enough. And he was like, people don't pay their money to come and watch the Brighton centre-backs play football all day.
Right. But like, Warren, I disagree. I don't think it's a coaching issue in, like, there have been instances where it is coaching. I agree with you on a Grealish thing. But I don't think in totality it's a coaching thing, because I think it's an ability thing. Like, you see Cherky, he's able to do that because he's got the ability to. Esteval got the ability to. Grealish has the ability to when he's not shackled by Pep. Who else? Iliman Ndiaye, the ability to. Semenyo, the ability to. We just have players outside of Gittins. I think that's a quality issue in terms of maybe confidence as well. We have wingers mostly that don't have the ability to, because it's not a coaching issue, because especially under the previous coach, they got given a million 1v1 opportunities where they have the opportunity to beat a guy on the dribble and they never do.
That's the reason. That's the reason. No, but that's the reason. I totally agree, but that's the point, right? Like, the coach, the way that they want to play football, whoever is deciding the style of football, whoever it is, the people that we're signing are not the players that are going to beat a player, because we don't want our players to do that. We want our players to play inside and play this boring standard of football, which is why we sign wingers that can't beat a player. Right? And it goes all the way through. I know a coach at the academy who coaches from the under 10s to the under 15s, and it's not necessarily his personal philosophy on it, but he is bound and restricted by what the club and what the senior people around him tell him that he has to do. And it is just coached out of him. It is literally the idea of getting round someone and whipping a cross into the near post or the far post or onto the penalty spot, as like, you know, we used to think of it back in the day, aim for the penalty spot and you've got it in the middle of the box, you've got half a chance, because that's where most people run to, is to the middle, right? So it was as simple as that. He said that's gone. It's come back, pass inside, make the angle to get the pass in on the ground in behind, and it's all so it's completely, it's literally started to be coached out of children.
Right. Listen, before we wrap up, I know, Aggie, you've got to go. To be fair, I need to go as well. Why don't we all just have a little piece on Fulham? Aggie, you go first. Just what we think going into the Fulham game, and then we're going to wrap it up. Big up to everyone that's watching as well. If you haven't liked the video, please do. It makes a big difference. It just shows that you're enjoying it, and we'll obviously continue to do it. And subscribe as well. Help support the channel. Whether you're watching on X or YouTube, you can retweet. You can still like. Anyway, Aggie, what do you think about Fulham, mate? Do you have a prediction for that one?
I think we're going to win 2-1.
Okay.
I think it's going to go for it. I think it's going to go for it. I don't know what formation it's going to pick, but I think we're going to go and attack them. We're not going to sit back, and I think we're going to beat them. I think we're going to get a result. I honestly do.
Fair enough. Scott, what do you think going into the game?
It's going to be interesting. I think it was either Warren or Aggie, or I can't remember who said it earlier, about like it's going to be a different setup. You can't sit 6-man behind the ball in terms of a 6-man back line with your wingers basically as wing backs against Fulham. I don't think that will go down well. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what we do. I'd like to see a 3-man midfield, because I think that's what gets the best out of Enzo and stops him being a defensive liability. Yeah. And I'd like to see Santos get some game time as well. But yeah, I think I agree. I think it's going to be a lot tougher test for Callum in terms of trying to set us up, because the City game was kind of just a vibes. Go out there and play at City. There's no expectation. We know what they play like. It's vibes. Fulham's a bit of a different test for him, but I think it'll be interesting. And like I said, I just hope certain players get some game time because they deserve it after the performance of the weekend.
Warren?
Yeah, I suppose that, it's approaching it with trepidation, really. We kind of have amazing runs against Fulham, but for some reason I'm always nervous playing for them. I think it's just because they're a small club, and I'm always nervous when Chelsea play small clubs. But yeah, I think like I said earlier, it's a completely different challenge for him now. I'm never suggesting it was an easy challenge that he had at Man City yesterday, but it was very simple what he had to do. He knew exactly what he had to do. He just said, right, go and do your thing. Now he's actually got to prepare and set a team up and do everything beforehand. So it's a different challenge. I think there'll be a certain element of, he will probably speak to the players as a whole and sort of say, what do you want to do? He says, I'm not going to be here for very long. I'm going to be here for a couple of days. There's no point in me putting my philosophy across to you guys. Like, it's literally pointless. What do you guys want to do? What do you guys think is best? What have you wanted to do? And he's not going to completely deviate. It'd be stupid to completely deviate what they've been working on for the last 18 months under Maresca. They're going to keep the foundation, the base of it is still going to be something Maresca-ish. But what do you want to do? And maybe, it's probably how Di Matteo won a Champions League, to be perfectly honest with you, and an FA Cup, by just saying to the players, go and do what you do best. What do you want to do? If you're fit and you can run and you can jump in the way, you're in the team. Happy days, right? Di Matteo won a Champions League and an FA Cup doing it, and all the credit to him for it as well. But yeah, so I think that's probably what he should do. What he will do is we're second guessing until we see the lineup and until we see how we play. Until then, I'll be positive. I'll look forward to it. I again say to all the boys that are going to the game, get behind the team, because it makes a real difference. Thought they was fantastic at City. Thought Chelsea fans have been good on the whole this season. At times, sometimes when they'd been known for getting on the players' backs, and they haven't. So again, loud and proud, get the atmosphere up, win or lose up the Blues.
There you go. For me, Fulham's going to be a tough but winnable game. They're not I mean, they're obviously not a terrible side, but I
They're a
don't
good
feel,
side. No, they're a good side.
I don't feel like they're as stable as last season. You know, let's just put it like that. I look at Silva; he's not happy with the way they're being run. A lot of clubs aren't happy at the moment, to be fair. But they were able to get a draw against Liverpool and score from nowhere. I think ultimately, I can see goals. I can see goals. I don't think it's a 1-0. I think it's more like a 3-2 game where we make mistakes and hopefully, having the freedom which I spoke about, you see Palmer, in his element. You see, I'd love to see Delap start again. I want to see Delap get a run at games.
I agree. I want to see João Pedro bench for
I'm sick and tired of João Pedro.
Yeah, I want to see him bench.
I'd like to see Esteval start again. I'd like to see Pedro Neto on the bench, to be honest with you. Even though I love him, I don't know. I'd change something there, but it's a case of who do you want to play. So I mean, we'll see what happens. It'd probably end up being Garnacho, but
you might play a 4-3-3 and play Palmer one side and Esteval the other.
It's definitely possible. Esteval's shown he can play on the left, and he can play as a 10. To be fair,
he can definitely play as a 10. I said
you could technically speaking, you could play. I mean, look, Scott, it's best. I don't know if you'd like this, but you could play Garnacho on the left, and then you could play Esteval and Palmer in the middle and on the right.
Yeah.
No, I play a 3-man midfield.
Anything to keep him out.
No, it's not even that. It's not even that. Like I said, I want to see a 3-man midfield because I think he gets the best out of Enzo. I also want to see Andres Santos get game time. And then, I don't have to see Pedro Neto or Garnacho play or Gittins. I get to see Esteval and Palmer ball out on the wings. Well, hopefully ball out. And Delap up front.
Esteval as a 10 is the way forward. I got laughed out the room when I said it on this show about 3 months ago, but I called Esteval playing in the middle and I got laughed out the room.
Hey, man, we'll see what happens. Listen, big up. Really appreciate you coming on, Scott, as always, Warren and Aggie. First time on the show as well, mate. Always a pleasure. Thanks so much for coming on.
Brilliant, lads. Yeah, no problem. Up the Chelsea.
Up the Chelsea. You had a good time. Listen, I'm going to wrap it up there. Big up to everyone watching as well. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we will catch up very, very soon. Up the Chelsea, and I'll probably be streaming tomorrow because I think Rosnier's done. If there's a verbal agreement, but that's another video. Anyway, all the best, guys. Catch up soon, and